Happening right now, the young woman kidnapped at birth speaks exclusively to First Coast News.
I just think things are going to get better. I always believe that. I just think there's always a rainbow on the side.
What she thinks should happen to the woman who allegedly stole her from her mother's arms.
Plus, medical marijuana coming to Jacksonville Beach. We'll tell you where dispensaries can set up shop. And later, Lake City redemption.
A First Coast native wins the Super Bowl. The reason his win over Tom Brady means so much to his high school coaches. First Coast News at 11 starts right now.
Stolen at birth, found 18 years later. Tonight, Kamiyah Mobley shares her story in an exclusive interview.
I mean, who are you? Everyone wants to know. Have you discovered yourself? Who are you, Kamiyah?
That's a question I'm still fighting with, because everybody asks me that, and I still don't know what it means to answer that. Like, I don't know how to answer that, really.
It has been 1 year since she was found alive after being kidnapped. And today, newly released documents reveal a web of lies, while new pictures show a life of love.
And these photos show the home where Kamiyah, then known as Alexis, lived. Baby pictures, senior photos, and information on how it all unraveled.
We will get to that in just a moment, but first, an interview you will only see right here on First Coast News.
Kamiyah Mobley and the overwhelming truth. Here's Keitha Nelson.
I just want to know where my baby is at. I just want my baby back.
Tracking over 75 leads.
Today, University Medical Center is offering a $50,000 reward for the safe return of the infant.
I just want you to bring my child back.
She's no wallflower. When Kamiyah Mobley walks into a room, you take notice. That smile matches her bold personality.
Because everybody always asks me, how you handling stuff? Because everybody always asks me that. Like, to be honest, I dealt with it probably better than what people think.
Just an hour before a party celebrating 1 year as Kamiyah Mobley and her father's birthday, we sat down in a private section of a West Side lounge. The girl with 2 names and more mothers than at times she can handle remained upbeat about her unique circumstance.
I actually make jokes about that. Like, everybody be like, how's your mom doing? I'd be like, which one? And they love it. Yeah, it's like mom, mother, everybody, they all respond.
She's smiling now.
What I've been through is hard, but not hard enough for me to, be sad all the rest of my days. And my future is only gonna get better.
Kamiyah Mobley was kidnapped back in 1998 from
what she's been through.
A baby girl found alive.
Kidnapped from University Hospital in Jacksonville in 1998, just 8 hours old, Kamiyah would become Alexis Manigault. Renamed by a woman who police say posed as a nurse, stole little Kamiyah from the arms of her then 16-year-old mother and raised her 200 miles away in Walterboro, South Carolina.
Please bring me my baby.
Video of this young mother, Shanara Mobley, crying out for a piece of her that would be missing for 18 years, resonated with parents on the First Coast, people around the nation, and around the world.
Please bring me back my child.
How could this have happened?
That's all I ask from you is my child back.
I've been in a hospital before Gloria, because ain't no way they should have did all that right. I mean, she shouldn't have been able to get in there and steal the baby.
It was his baby girl, stolen at birth, now 19 years old. Their resemblance is undeniable.
He looks just like me. We look just alike.
Still, it won't be easy for this bright young woman who for so long has been living a lie.
Do you worry about her?
Worry? Sometimes I worry, but when I do start to worry, she make me not worry. She always make it seem like she got it under control.
Aiken says at times it feels as if she never left, fitting in seamlessly with his 8 other children.
This year here, we have accomplished so much together. And I think that partly come by, like I said, with us communicating and wanting to get to know each other, and wanting to fix the problem, you know what I'm saying, and wanting to move on.
Moving on. With the help of Aiken's wife refusing to take no for an answer, once Alexis, now Kamiyah, has legal documents, a real Social Security card, and is interested in attending Florida State. But while thinking ahead to her own future, she's at times consumed with worry. What will happen to the woman who raised her, one of the women she calls Mom, Gloria Williams?
don't want to talk about that.
Okay, okay. I mean, but ultimately for your mom, what do you see happening? What do you want happening?
You know, of course I'm not going to say, you know, throw her in jail and throw away the key or, you know, throw her into jail. Like, of course I don't want to see so many years, but I understand a crime was done, you know. So I understand some punishment has to be rendered.
And what about the woman who gave birth to Kamiyah, Chari Mobley? The Jacksonville teenager left torn for nearly 2 decades.
We're working on our relationship. We see each other. I have went over there, stayed a night, and stayed a week over there.
She's grown closer to her father, but they all desire for Chari and Kamiyah's strained relationship to heal.
You know, she's just trying to figure out how to make everybody happy. And that can confuse a person. My biggest fear, I guess, about, you know, a speedy recovery relationship with her and her mother.
The joy of finding a part of her that for so long she hadn't realized was missing.
Does it make you a little sad to think that you missed out on that early on?
I don't really like to think about the past. It does sometimes, but, you know, like, I don't like to think about the past. I'm enjoying them now. Like, as we're growing up, I enjoy them now.
Since their reunion a year ago, Kamiyah has been back and forth between Walterboro and Jacksonville, but says it looks like Jacksonville will become her home. As for her 2 names, she actually doesn't have a preference and answers to both Alexis and Kamiyah. She tells me she speaks to Williams from jail almost every day. Williams' trial is set to begin in 7 days on February 12th.
Keitha, thank you. She has been through so much and still has such a bright outlook on life, such a big smile. And just 1 week before Gloria Williams is set to go to trial, never before released evidence reveals new information about the case. Now, it not only shows the great lengths Williams took to hide her secret, we have also learned that Kamiyah's birth mother contacted her missing daughter nearly 2 years before any arrest was ever made. First Coast News' Julia Janae is live tonight in the Information Center, digging deeper. Julia?
That's right, Heather. Those details came out in an information dump from the state attorney's office. This 25-page report from JSO gives 18 years of details, all leading up to this case that's now before a judge.
It don't make no sense to cry.
Kamiyah Mobley is still in close contact with the woman who raised her, and new documents from police show just how long Mobley knew her true identity. Sometime in 2015, police learned from a family member that Mobley, known as Alexis, was applying for a job at Shoney's, and after encountering problems, she confronted Williams about not having a Social Security card. The family member told police it was then that Williams told the teen her real name and how she had been kidnapped. Witnesses told detectives they saw Kamiyah searching for her birth parents online.
Everyone wants to know, have you discovered yourself? Who are you?
I still don't know what it means to answer that.
Kamiyah's curiosity about her true identity would lead her to make a phone call. The police report says she told detectives she called her birth mother, Chari Mobley, a year and a half before police interviewed her in January of 2017. She told them she hung up as soon as Chari answered without saying a word. But in 2015, the same number sent her a text that said, "Happy birthday." Kamiyah replied, "Why do you think it's my birthday?" And the conversation stopped.
She's still a mother behind bars. She's still like, she stays on me hard. Like, hey, what you doing? You got this yet? What you doing? What college you going to?
The mother who continues to write from jail to the daughter at the center of her case. In March of last year, she wrote, "Are you mad at me for all of this mess? Love you always, Mama."
Also in that supplemental report, a witness interviewed by police said that Gloria explained that she had had a miscarriage and then drove to Jacksonville to the University Memorial Hospital. Now, we have reached out to the birth mother of Kamiyah Mobley, Chari Mobley, since this case first broke last year, and she has declined to do an interview with us. For now, reporting from the newsroom, Julia Janae, First Coast News, on your side.
Julia, thank you. And First Coast News has been following this story from the very beginning. We have a lot more on today's new developments. Head to firstcoastnews.com.
Some other news we're following tonight. Right now, investigators are trying to figure out if human error caused the train crash in South Carolina that killed 2 men. One of those men, the conductor, a father from Orange Park. 116 others were injured. And tonight, we've learned CSX may not have to pay for it, even if the company is found liable. First Coast News reporter Hani Rodriguez is live at CSX headquarters in downtown Jacksonville with more on what's next for passengers. Hani.
We reached out to a local attorney to find out what the options are for those passengers who were injured on this crash, and he is pointing to basically opening an investigation sooner rather than later.
Question is, are they putting profits over public safety? Just like a ship shouldn't sink, a train should never collide.
But on Sunday, they did.
Everybody was asleep before you know it. It just crashed.
And ripped my chair right off the floor.
George Caphart and Wendy Camerico were 2 of 139 passengers headed to Miami aboard an Amtrak train. It collided with a CSX train that was stopped on the tracks.
Bodies everywhere. People on top of one another.
The National Transportation Safety Board examined the wreckage on Monday. The data recorder revealed the Amtrak train was braking seconds before it crashed and was traveling at an allowed speed of 56 miles per hour. We reached out to personal injury attorney Michael Pajic, who has represented victims of train crashes and the El Faro sinking. Pajic says survivors should consider hiring their own attorney to do an investigation and not wait on NTSB. Investigators say they found a track switch in the wrong position, which diverted the Amtrak train off its main track.
As a company, they have a moral responsibility to take their passengers who they put in harm's way and give them every possibility to make their lives more convenient and make sure they get the medical care they need.
But passengers told us they received very little medical assistance and were quickly shipped off into buses.
The buses were coming to take us to our destination. That's all they told us.
It could take months, even years, for the NTSB to complete their investigation. Once we have more information on this crash, we'll be sure to share it with you. For now, reporting live, I'm Honey Rodriguez, First Coast News, on your side.
Thank you. We mentioned just a moment ago that CSX may not be financially liable even if it's at fault. Well, here's why. Congress passed a law that included a provision that protected freight companies like CSX from being liable even if they caused the accident. That was the case back in the early 90s in a crash very similar to Sunday's. That investigation found CSX to be at fault because of a faulty switch. 8 people died in the crash. A Miami police officer was one of the victims, and his widow refused to settle. The U.S. Supreme Court awarded her more than $60 million. And when CSX got the bill, the company handed it over to Amtrak, which is subsidized by the government. So in essence, you, the taxpayer. And right now on firstcoastnews.com, we have much more on what the NTSB is saying about this crash and more on the life of the conductor who was killed.
Medical marijuana for sale in Jax Beach. All new tonight, where businesses will only be allowed to set up shop.
And he was a local star and now a Super Bowl champion. The reason his big win is being called payback.
A reported abduction in the Beauclair neighborhood turned out to just be a false alarm. Police say someone called about a woman laying on the sidewalk who appeared to be having a seizure. The witness told police a man picked her up and put her in the back of a car, so that triggered an alert from JSO about an abduction. Investigators say tonight there is no evidence of a crime. New tonight, medical marijuana is coming to Jax Beach, and now we know exactly where.
First Coast News' Brittany Dion is live at Jacksonville Beach tonight with the latest turn in the fight that has lasted months. Britt?
Medical marijuana dispensaries will now be allowed to open anywhere a traditional pharmacy is located, but with a few rules.
Shandy Thompson lives in Jacksonville Beach. Her husband has cancer. She's advocated for getting dispensaries at the beaches. On Monday night, she thanked council and says she agrees with the restrictions.
I think it's responsible. I mean, when I go to the pharmacy to pick up my medication, I'm not going at midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning. That's what a hospital's for if I'm really in that much pain. I'm also relieved as a parent because I wouldn't want one next to my son's school either.
Here are the rules. Medical marijuana dispensaries can now open in areas zoned for commercial use in Jacksonville Beach, but they can't be within 500 feet of each other or a school. They can only be open from 7 to 9, meaning no late hours.
Another interesting question asked tonight by Councilman Bruce Thomas. He said that what happens if a school wants to open in a location where a dispensary is already located? Well, the city manager says that in that case, the school will have to find somewhere else to open. Reporting live in Jacksonville Beach, I'm Brittany Dion, First Coast News, on your side.
Wall Street chaos, Main Street concern. When you wake up tomorrow, you'll likely have less money in your retirement account. The Dow fell more than 1,100 points Monday. It's the biggest one-day point drop ever. And right now, Asian markets are also in the red. To put that in perspective for you, according to Bloomberg, Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and Amazon's Jeff Bezos lost more than $3 billion each today. Google's founders lost $2 billion apiece, as did Bill Gates, and that's a lot of money, but I'm sure they still have plenty more.
Super Bowl payback, First Coast style. A local high school football coach lost 2 Super Bowls to Tom Brady, but now one of his former students is bringing a Super Bowl ring back to North Florida. First Coast News reporter Eric Alvarez went to the hometown of Philadelphia Eagles Timmy Jernigan, where teachers and coaches say he's inspiring an entire town.
Who doesn't love a good origin story? For Super Bowl champion Timmy Jernigan, it starts here, the Columbia High School weight room, where winners are forged from sweat and iron.
Everything that we do as a football team, this is where it gets started.
Head coach Brian Allen shows players Jernigan's record-setting clean and jerk, which in the 7 years since he graduated has never been beaten.
He's the GOAT, as we call it. He's the greatest of all time in the heavyweight division.
Allen only trained with Jernigan for 1 semester, but they share a bigger bond than coach and player. Both wore the colors of the Columbia Tigers before taking the field on the NFL's biggest stage. As a linebacker, Allen was part of 2 Super Bowl teams, with the Rams in 2002 and again with the Panthers in 2004. Both ended in losses to Tom Brady.
I'll argue all day that he's the best and greatest that has ever done it at that position.
But on Sunday, Columbia High School got some Super Bowl payback as Jernigan and the Eagles took down Brady and the Patriots.
Just extremely proud for a Lake City kid to walk away with a Super Bowl championship.
On Monday, you could hear Jernigan's name just about everywhere here at Columbia High School, but not just the field and the weight room, but also the hallways and the classrooms.
That I just had tears of joy.
Math teacher Shelly Shoup remembers Jernigan not just as a good football player, but also a dedicated student.
Never satisfied with where he was, and I think that probably has a lot to do with where he is today.
Today, Jernigan is a winner, and so are all the Tigers that came before and after.
Like so many others here in Lake City, I'm just extremely happy that he's represented this town well.
In Columbia High School, where Super Bowl champions are made, Eric Alvarez, First Coast News, on your side.
That's a great story. Local celeb there. Well, high school football in the Peach State is big business. Talking about Georgia, at least 36 high school coaches are getting paid 6 figures. In the last 2 years, the number of 6-figure football coaches in Georgia has skyrocketed. Glenn County Athletic Director Steve Waters says people realize, the investment of time that these high school head football coaches are doing. And it's hard enough to pay to find a quality head coach. And certainly here in South Georgia, they're setting the standard. Well, it turns out fries from McDonald's grow more than just your waistline.
This is probably the craziest story of the day. Japanese scientists say that an ingredient used in the frying process could actually grow hair. That's right. An ingredient in McDonald's French fries may cure baldness. What? The name of the chemical, it's 100 syllables long. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it for you. But the bottom line is scientists say it helped produce hair follicles in mice. There's a potential for people.
I'm going to go get some fries and just rub it on my head and hope for the best.
Now, weather with your First Coast News storm experts, powered by AC Designs.
Now, wait a sec. Do you rub it or do you eat them? I think there's more research to that story. Well, this is 2020. Low this morning of 47, high of 70 degrees. Cooler morning on the way, but what about the sky? Mostly clear, a little bit of morning clouds, but notice what's happening on our Tuesday. Clouds off to the northeast, off to the south, off to the west, off to the west and northwest, but pretty much after some morning clouds here, a sunshine sandwich. And maybe just as significant, remember the big launch, still planning on watching it down around the Cape. They should be clear, so meteorologically looks good for the launch during the afternoon. Visually looks clear here, or at least becoming clear, so you might want to check out that launch. We have in fact, the weather team heading down to check out the launch during the day tomorrow. So overall tonight, 41 well inland, some fog around dawn, 43 officially for a low, more like the upper 40s along the river and out around the beaches. Then the big rebound in the temperatures tomorrow after the morning clouds and just a little bit of fog, lots of sun, an afternoon high of 70 with a northeast breeze becoming a southeast breeze. We call that a veering wind. Nonetheless, it's a veering wind off the still chilly ocean, 57 degrees, so a high on the island of about 64 degrees, high tide out there about 12:30. What about the next front? Well, the next front will also bring seasonably cooler air, but that's after we warm up later Tuesday and Wednesday. Notice by Tuesday night, moisture returning toward the cold front. As the cold front drops southeast, showers and thunderstorms develop. Going to be an active day to our northwest, but then as the thunderstorms, could be some thunderstorms heading toward places like Valdosta and Columbia County, there upon the Swanee. They'll weaken as they drop in toward the first coast. We're going to say a weakening line of showers and thunderstorms heading our way Wednesday. We cool down Thursday and Friday. Then we warm back up Saturday and Sunday for the weekend in which we finish it. Whether you're out there participating with the Donna or you're, supporting the participators, spectating. We need it all and a great weekend to be out and about. Now remember, this official temperature, that's for inland areas, and everything going on Sunday primarily out on the island due to the cooler sea surface temperatures. I think out there will start out at 57 degrees, 100% humidity though, so it could be some sea fog, and then a high of about 73 degrees with a sea breeze developing. Maybe the next round of widespread thunderstorms about next Monday. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Was because they had invested in the stock market and it crashed in 08, and so they lost.
Can you hear me? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is my mic on? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
From the Farah and Farah Sports Desk, it's First Coast Sports.
Hello, everybody. Dan Mullen made national headlines when he recently promised that the Florida Gators would win the national title. His boss, Scott Strickland, said he had no problem with it because that's Dan. Strickland went on to say there are some leaders who are afraid to put themselves out there because if you set the bar high and don't reach it, You're afraid of being criticized. But if there's someone who can lead the Gators back to the top of college football, it's Mullen. He was there the last time Florida won a national title. Mullen was UF's offensive coordinator, and he had a quarterback by the name of Tim Tebow. Here's Mullen on what it's going to take to get the Gators back to the top and how soon he can make that happen.
Everybody buys in completely to us becoming the best program in America. That's when you start seeing championships. And so, hopefully, I'll take one this year. I'm great. I mean, our goal is to do that this year.
Despite their incredible performance, the Philadelphia Eagles are not the favorites to win next year's Super Bowl. That would be their opponent, the New England Patriots. The Eagles have the second best odds to win it all next year. By the way, our beloved Jacksonville Jaguars odds are 20-1. It's official. Former Patriots defensive coordinator Matt Patricia is the new head coach of the Detroit Lions. The Lions confirmed the decision to hire Patricia this afternoon. Patricia will be tasked with turning around a Lions team that has not won a playoff game since the 1991 season. The Reigns Vikings football team named to the 13th annual Max Preps Tour of Champions presented by the Army National Guard. The Vikings will host a ceremony tomorrow morning at 11 at the school where the team will receive national recognition. The award is one of the most prestigious team awards in all of high school sports and an exclusive honor reserved for 100 of the top teams nationwide. If you can remember, the Vikings won the Class 4A state title back in December, knocking off Cocoa Beach. Hashtag Team Sideline Saturday. The AFA Tigers won a thriller over at Emmett Reed on the north side of Jacksonville. Paris Finn, as you saw there, knocked down a big jumper, 2 points, 2 big points.